Mr. President, did you call when called for the speaker this weekend for Jim Jordan?
Yes. Jim will be Speaker of the House. He's a fantastic young man. He's pretty young still, and he's very strong. He has very proper opinions about our country. He loves our country. He wants to see it do well, and I think he's going to be confirmed sometime soon. As you know, many people have now supported him. 24 hours ago, they were supporting somebody else. There seems to be great unification. I think Jim Jordan will be a great speaker. I think he'll be. I think he's going to have the vote soon, if not today, over the next day or two, and I think he'll end up being a great speaker.
Meanwhile,
Jordan. Auchincloss. Jeffries. Babin. Jordan. Bacon. McCarthy.
Dumbass. All right, guys, so we got to talk about an update on the Speaker of the House race, as the GOP has officially nominated Jim Jordan to be Speaker of the House. And today is the day that they decided that they were going to bring a vote to the House floor with Democrats in order to decide if Jim Jordan would officially become Speaker of the House. Now, that failed, okay? To make a long story short, there were about 20 Republicans who decided to vote against Jim Jordan for nonsensical reasons that we're going to talk about here in this video. But first, we got to talk about Democrats, because Democrats, in my opinion, are basically plotting a coup against Jim Jordan, and Republicans, in order to take some power away from Republicans in this Speaker of the House vote. And that could very well happen if the GOP continues to have this circus where they're holding out against voting for Jim Jordan as Speaker of the House because they're butthurt about the fact that their guy, Kevin McCarthy, got ousted in the first place. But until then, it is enjoyable to see full-blown meltdowns on the House floor, like, for example, Maxine Waters getting booed or heckled after voting against Jim Jordan for Speaker by voting for Hakeem Jeffries.
Waters.
Hakeem Jeffries versus an insurrection.
Jeffries.
Have you heard anything from the Republican side, any members over the last couple of days that have come to you guys calling for a bipartisan compromise or looking to work with you on that?
There have been ongoing informal conversations that have been undertaken over the last few days. I think there's a possibility those can accelerate now that Jim Jordan clearly does not have the votes to be Speaker. For good reason. Jim Jordan is the poster child for MAGA extremism. He is a clear and present danger to our democracy. There are many good men and women on the Republican side of the aisle who are qualified to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. There is no circumstance where Jim Jordan is one of them.
Yeah, so you see now, you heard that, okay? As you can see there, that is Hakeem Jeffries, and you also have Maxine Waters as well, too. They're scared to death of Jim Jordan becoming Speaker, right? They would much rather have somebody like Kevin McCarthy, which tells you everything you need to know about Kevin McCarthy, tells you everything you need to know about Jim Jordan. But once again, we have about 20 Republicans who are still holding out for the pettiest reasons, okay? We're going to get into some of these reasonings here, okay? But I want to show you guys the list of Republicans here. You have some people, like, for example, Don Bacon, Lori Chavez, Anthony D. Esposito, Jen Keegans. These people, these are Biden district Republicans. Now, the idea is that, well, if they vote for Jim Jordan, then that may trigger some people to come out and vote against the Republicans, and they'll lose their job because of this, okay? This is what they're saying. Now, these people are the institutionalists, okay? These are the establishment Republicans who have concerns about Jim Jordan and his conservative spending, okay? Basically, they don't want spending cuts, right? They don't actually want to fix the budget. These are the Republicans that love to spend money, right? And also probably want us to continue to fund Ukraine, which, again, that's what a lot of this is about. It's really about continuing to fund Ukraine and foreign wars, right? So, again, they're super concerned that, Jim Jordan, who said he's against funding for Ukraine, they're super concerned that Jim Jordan may actually, stick to his guns on that issue. And then you have the people that just ride Kevin McCarthy's meat, right? The McCarthy loyalists, okay? Who, hey, they're just loyal to Kevin McCarthy to a fault. Even though Kevin McCarthy has already come out and said that he's supporting Jim Jordan for Speaker.
Now we have rules. We don't have to be stuck on the floor. The interesting part of why we're here, every single Democrat voted to stop one branch of government. They created this mess with 8 Republicans. Every single Democrat did that. And so I think what we'll do is we'll go sit down. We'll talk to those that have difference of opinion and come back.
Did the margin surprise you?
Excuse us.
Thank you.
Do you feel bad for Mr. Do you feel bad right now for Mr. Jordan? You threw your support for him. Do you feel bad for him?
No. Don't over read into this. This is about the same vote I had on my first vote out. Why we're in the no. Let's go back to how it got here. We wouldn't be here if every single Democrat didn't vote with 8 Republicans to shut this place down. That's it. No,
Republicans voted against Jim Jordan today on the floor, including 2 votes from somebody who's not even a member anymore.
Every single Democrat and 8 Republicans voted to shut down one branch of government. That is why we're here today. There's no other reason why we're here today but because of that. Now we had a vote on the floor. It didn't get to the whole point. Now we'll take a break, talk to people, and come back and solve it.
So how long? Is this going to be today?
And then you got people that are wild cards and question marks. People like Ken Buck, who is a part of the Freedom Caucus and voted to oust McCarthy, but for whatever reason won't vote for Jim Jordan. And he's going on CNN and basically using Democrat talking points and reasons for why he refuses to vote for Jim Jordan. Also going as far as to say that he voted for a guy to be Speaker of the House because he doesn't like the guy. And Speaker of the House is the hardest job in the world. That's why he voted for a guy that he doesn't like to be Speaker.
Question is, do you really want Tom Emmer to be Speaker?
No, I don't. I don't like Tom Emmer. I figured this would be the worst job in America. Mike Rowe would not want to do this for his TV show. This is a terrible job.
Okay, so just to underscore that, you voted for somebody because you don't like them.
I voted for somebody because I wasn't going to vote for Jim.
Yeah, but you don't. It's not because you want him to be Speaker. Okay, well, that says a lot about where we are right now. Let's look at what's next. I should just say, so our viewers know, that you were one of the 8 who voted to vacate and to kick Kevin McCarthy out of the Speaker's chair. You just heard Congressman Jimenez talking to Jake, saying that he does want McCarthy back. Is there any chance that you will have a change of heart?
I'm not going to vote for Kevin McCarthy. As Carlos also said, we have 220 members, 221 members. We're going to find somebody to agree to and move forward, even if it's for a temporary basis, but we will find somebody so that we can get our work done.
Ken Buck, Congressman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. One thing, I don't know if you've heard that we've actually been praising you on the show, and I hope that doesn't hurt you at home.
It will.
I hope it doesn't hurt you at home. You're a very conservative Republican. It's very important to you that whoever is the next Speaker of the House acknowledge the fact that Joe Biden won the presidency. It's just a fact that he did, and you want the next Speaker to acknowledge that.
I want the next Speaker to acknowledge that. I also want to make sure that we don't have somebody who was involved in the activities surrounding January 6th. And I think that if we have a presidential candidate who right now is leading, who denies that he lost the election and was obviously behind what happened on January 6th, and we have a speaker in a similar situation, we have 20 Republicans sitting in Joe Biden districts right now, districts that Joe Biden won in 2020, and those 20 Republicans are going to be at risk. There's no way we win the majority if the message we send to the American people is that we believe that the election was stolen, and we believe that January 6th was okay. It was a tour of the Capitol.
And I think that this is probably one of the reasons why Republicans have had trouble winning elections in 2018 and 2020. no, I'm sorry, in 2022, and right? I mean, like all the other, and the midterms in 2018, 2020, and then 2022, right? I mean, all those other midterm elections have had problems because there are a lot of suburban voters who might like some of the things that Republicans are offering, but they like democracy too.
Well, I think one of the messages, we underperformed. Republicans in the House underperformed. The expectation was that we would have a 30-vote majority, a 25-vote majority. We, in fact, have a 4-vote majority right now. And so part of the dysfunction that you see is the fact we don't have a large enough majority. And that I attribute to the fact that the message to the American people is muddled. It isn't that we're the party of the rule of law, because obviously we don't believe in the rule of law if we aren't willing to say that the election results were accurate.
But you're
Yeah, so I think it goes without saying that it's extremely silly to say that Republicans lost in 2022 because of Trump's claims about the election or January 6th. I don't think that those things had anything to do with why Republicans lost in 2022. But we're going to talk more about what this guy said. But first, I want to play another couple clips because part of the reason why Jim Jordan didn't become speaker is because some Republicans say that they felt pressured, right? They felt pressured, like Carlos Jimenez, who says, I don't want to be pressured to vote for him.
Do you see any way that you would change your position, change your vote?
In the future, yeah, but I'm not, right now I'm not changing my position. And I think that Jim Jordan's tactics of pressure and intimidation and misinformation, I'm not saying that he did it, but his supporters surely has not helped Jim Jordan.
Real quick question before you go. As Axios heading into all this was talking about the pressure campaign that had building to vote for Jim Jordan, some were anonymously telling sources that they were getting bullied into vote. Was any of that a turnoff for some of these members?
I believe it was. I've talked to a couple of members where they felt that that's just not what they needed. I don't think that's what we should be doing right now. And listen, for all of the voters in our country, I think it's important for members to hear your voice, and I totally respect that. But I think that there are members up here who they want to be able to make this decision on leadership and then move forward. I think some of the pressure campaigns have backfired. They have not worked. And so I think that right now, under the leadership of Jim Jordan, I would request that people just take a break, take a pause, let the members work and figure this out amongst ourselves so we can elect Jim Jordan as speaker, and then we can get back to the work that we have to do.
Look, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I understand there's some Republicans that don't like the pressure, right? People pressuring them. But at the end of the day, okay, a lot of these Republicans are not really voting in line with their constituents. Like, for example, Ken Buck, who has, again, nonsensical reasons for not voting for Jim Jordan, okay? I'm not sure exactly what this guy's goal is, especially considering how he's in the Freedom Caucus. His district is an R+13 district. This is not really a swing district. Now, again, can this district be flipped? Sure, right? But this is a solidly red district, right? And a lot of these Republicans are in solidly red districts. So I'm not sure exactly why these people think that their job is going to be in danger because they elect Jim Jordan to be Speaker of the House. I don't think that many Americans are going to the polls and voting based off Jim Jordan being Speaker of the House. I don't think that that's actually a thing. Okay, I don't think that's a thing. I think what these people are doing, they're holding out because essentially there are tools of the establishment. They're afraid of Jim Jordan, who is, in my opinion, not the establishment. Okay, and they don't want to actually legislate in a way that is conservative. They don't want to legislate in a way that goes along with the America First agenda. Like, for example, when it comes to significantly cutting spending or ending funding for these regime change wars that we always get ourselves into. This is what I believe. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. So they want to play victim and, hey, you're bullying me. When I say, look, we should not let up on the pressure. They should continue to be pressured by constituents to vote for who conservatives want to be Speaker of the House, which is Jim Jordan. Otherwise, these people are siding with Democrats because Democrats are plotting a coup. If these people continue to hold out, what's going to happen is that you're probably going to have a couple scenarios here. One scenario is that Kevin McCarthy could come back into the picture, because you do have some people who are still saying that they want Kevin McCarthy. You had some people that still voted for Kevin McCarthy, even though Kevin McCarthy didn't run. But it could be a situation where Kevin McCarthy can swoop in and save the day, because, again, there's going to be a lot of pressure to get the government up and running, and there's more moderates on the Republican side and the Democrat side than there are people who are non-establishment, okay, or anti-establishment. So what will happen is that you can have a guy like Kevin McCarthy that comes in and say, you know what, for the sake of getting the government open, we have to come together with Democrats and elect me speaker, right? It's either that or you got to elect Hakeem Jeffries, or don't open up the government. That could be a situation where Kevin McCarthy comes in and saves the day, right? Quote unquote saves the day, which in my opinion, you know, considering Kevin McCarthy, I wouldn't be surprised if kind of behind closed doors, Kevin McCarthy may be giving a wink and a nod to the Republicans that are continuing to hold out against Jim Jordan, while publicly being for Jim Jordan, acting like he's a team player. Now, I don't know if that's the case. That's just purely speculation. I don't know. But to me, these people that are still holding out for Kevin McCarthy, the loyalists, again, they don't have any real reason not to vote for Jim Jordan outside of wanting Kevin McCarthy. Which, again, some of these people in their districts, they would probably much rather prefer Jim Jordan than Kevin McCarthy to be speaker. But, again, they don't care about that. And then you have the scenario of them working with Democrats and a power-sharing agreement, which probably would have to happen under Kevin McCarthy as well, too. Right? In order for him to become speaker. But you could have this power-sharing agreement where maybe they elect Hakeem Jeffries. Or maybe they expand the power of the interim Speaker of the House, Patrick McHenry from North Carolina. Maybe they expand his powers, right? Again, in a power-sharing agreement where both sides, okay, are going to have more power, but yet they can, you know, continue to function. Because, again, there's going to be a lot of pressure to open up Congress and to get things done because of what's going on with overseas conflict, right? These people are itching. They're itching to get back to sending more money overseas. And this is why I think that Republicans, that America First Republicans, true conservatives, need to hold out. They need to continue to hold out, because I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush to continue to send money overseas. I'm not in a rush to get the government going again, because quite honestly, hey, I think less government is better, right? To be quite honest with you. And if this has to continue to happen in order to get the right guy, it is what it is. I would much rather take a few more days to get the right guy than to fold because, oh, well, we need to send money to Ukraine, right? Nah, that's not the way I'm thinking about this. Now, again, hopefully these people will fold. I think that they will fold. Okay, and part of the reason why I think they will fold, because there is going to be a massive pressure campaign now that these people and their votes are on record. There is going to be a massive pressure campaign from the grassroots in order to get these people to flip. And if they don't flip, they should be primary. And I also think that this is an opportunity for Trump to step up and to come out and make a public statement about all the Republicans who are voting against Jim Jordan and say, look, if you don't vote for Jim Jordan, we're primarying you. Okay, Trump is the king of the primaries, right? If Trump endorses a candidate in the primary, there's a very, very, very good chance that that candidate will win, right? So, again, I think that there's an opportunity here to pressure these Republicans, even though they don't like the pressure. Who cares, right? Who cares what they like at this point? They need to get on board with the agenda, or they can lose their jobs, right? Because if they're afraid of losing their jobs, voting for Jim Jordan, then they need to be more afraid of losing their jobs if they don't vote for Jim Jordan, right? That's what we need to do. That's the reality situation, because, again, if we continue to let these people dictate and control what happens, eventually these people are going to compromise with Democrats, and they'll make Kevin McCarthy Speaker of the House again, and he'll be more under control with Democrats, or Hakeem Jeffries will be the guy, or Patrick McHenry will be the guy. And again, more power and control will go to Democrats. The best thing conservatives can do as of right now to maintain more power and control for conservatives is to elect Jim Jordan to Speaker of the House. He's already going to have less control because he's going to have to cut deals anyways, right? So it's not like you're going to get the furthest right version of Jim Jordan, right? This is what these people fear. You're not going to get that. He's already going to be compromised because he's going to have to make deals. So again, these people that are so afraid and so, upset, it's like, it's all for nothing, right? It's all for nothing, okay? Jim Jordan knows that he's going to have to make some compromise in order to move forward with the government. He knows he can't be hardline on certain issues. He understands that. So again, the opposition to Jim Jordan at this point is just silly. Let's get our guy in office, right? Let's get our guy in a position, and then let's work on expanding our lead in 2024. Because again, ultimately in the day, nobody's voting based off what's happening with this Speaker of the House situation. That's not what's going on here, right? But I do believe that having a conservative speaker who are actually going to put pressure on Democrats in order to get better legislation, I think that can help us in 2024. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.